Welcome to the bold analysis. Thika Road is currently blocked around Ruiru bypass after the body of a middle-aged man was found floating in the nearby river. Eyewitnesses that are currently that were in that place believe the man was a victim of extrajudicial murder, a topic that has been hot in the country in the last few weeks. So this has happened along Thika Road. And in the context of abductions, I would want us to analyze the abduction through Muturi lenses. The expose by Muturi has rattled different leaders in the country. And I like the way he's taken his stand, is saying, I'm a bit senior to maybe get swayed, or rather to be shaken by utterances from junior politicians. I want us to look through Muturi expose so that we can make some observations about the whole debate on abductions. Probably the country has been waiting for someone who can say what he knows about abductions. We've been asking the young people to go and write statements in police stations about who abducted them and where they were abducted and in which stations they were put. And I believe we've been saying that that is an overreach. Some of these people, someone is abducting you, cannot tell you where he is taking you, or you cannot be told where you are, or the abductor cannot identify himself. And secondly, even the safety of abductees, your life never remains the same. You still remain within the radar, and you are never sure. You're never sure whether the same thing can repeat. There were also reports that the parents of some of these fellows who are abductees were also approached and told to talk to their children and rather monitor what their children are doing online, because what had just happened is not something that the parents would want to experience. I want to analyze abduction through Muturi lenses. And let's take the account of Muturi. The first account is calling all state agencies and failing to get an answer. Let's go through it. According to Muturi, he called IG Kome, and when he called IG Kome the night that the son was allegedly abducted, the former Inspector General of Police told him that he was going to spread the information across the police station and create an alert. But though he also said, Kome told him that he didn't know about any police operation that had happened around Kileleshwa. The same night, he picked the call and reached out to DCI Amin. DCI Amin's phone went unanswered, even though he never called back. Muturi tried calling, but the phone was ringing, but it was never answered. As to whether he saw the call, but he never called back. Then he reached out to the PS, Raymond Omolo, who was believing that probably that could be a case of carjacking, but promised action, promised the Attorney General that action would be taken to help get the son. Throughout this night, Kilimani Police Station went to Citizen TV, demanding a CCTV footage of that area. But the CCTV footage was, the Citizen crew were a bit cautious about it. But Muturi called the Citizen team, Ruiru, and explained the whole situation. And that is when a CCTV footage was availed to Muturi. So from the CCTV footage, they narrowed down and said probably it was ATPU, Anti-Terrorism Protection Unit. And then he got the contacts of Kiprotich Mohammed, who was allegedly probably the head of that. He made that call and it was also unanswered. Not that it was off, it was also unanswered. James Onyango, the deputy DCI, is the person Muturi called next. And he said that he would get back, even though he was saying that there was no such operation in that area. Now, the next day, Sunday, that this calls went until next day, Sunday, Muturi called a friend who was within the NIS, and the friend confirmed to him that the son was being held by the spymen. So, Muturi called Kindiki. And when he reached out to Kindiki, Kindiki also was shocked and was remorseful of that incident, but promised to call the spy master so that he can, the spyman, so that he can give a feedback. Kindiki called the DG, the NAS DG, and he was told that contrary to report from Muturi, the NAS were not holding the son. Kindiki believed them. Now, it took the right direct intervention of the president, who, according to Muturi, it took the direct intervention for the son to be released. Let us look through the hustle. I was telling you that. Let us look through the hustle of how Muturi, who was an attorney general, went through the hustle of getting the son to be released. If you don't have the privilege of that access, of that contact, then even if someone is telling you to walk to police stations, you're the only place. All through this, Muturi never went to any police station or any morgue. For mwananchi out there, you are visiting, you are told to visit police stations and mortuaries and probably rivers and forests. Maybe if you can trace your person there. So if you look at the hustle that happened, you'll understand that in any case of an abduction, it is not something very easy to navigate through the system. So for some of you, for even to reach IG, you might need to get 4 calls on the way for even to reach out to the AG. Number 2, it is clear security agencies are working in silos. And what I mean is what this is doing, the other person might not know. It is also not very, because it is not very possible that hii yote ingefanyika and even the IG, the Raymond Omolo, all these fellows, even the DCI, all these fellows, no one seemed to have an idea about what had happened. So it only means that the security agencies work in silos. The second issue, through Muturi's lens, there is the second pointer of President's phone call. President's phone. And if you allow me, let me read a feedback from, I saw a tweet from Kipkalia Kones, Let me just allow me to read that. It is something that it is a bit interesting. Kipkalia Kones reacted to this. One of the Twitter analysts reacted to this, and he said, yes. The final shock from the Muturi's statement is that Ruto actually owns a cell phone which can crash at an overload of text. At an overload of text. What banana republic is this? How does the presidential security allow him to own a phone? A phone is a bomb. Israel murdered hundreds of Hezbollah officials by hacking their pages, leave alone modern smartphones. A president does not need to have his own phone line. Wherever he is, there is already a secure connection with his national security team. He's also given a secure family line. You shouldn't be able to casually text a president. Any president, you wouldn't have seen Moi or Kibaki on cell phones, because secure presidential communication already covers all these angles. A president owning a cell phone speaks to a disturbing narcissistic and control freak tendencies which compromise his own safety and national security. Even Biwott never kept cell phones. The phone was full of texts. Dude was trying to stay in touch with 50 million Kenyans, villages. Now, for me, I would want to react. Before I looked at it in terms of the phone crashing and all that, could the president be having his phone and maybe managing his social media handles and looking what's happening in Twitter, so that he reacts from a personal point of view? Now, there is this statement that Ruto's phone crashed over message overload. To me, it looks like an excuse. If Muturi wanted to reach the president, even if there is message overload, I believe that the alternative communication channels that have been there, and the president's communication team, secure network and communication team understood what was going on, but the president was just kept aloof, or they decided to ignore while these calls were going on. Because I want to believe, even by the time, even these other officials who never received Muturi's phone call, they might have known what exactly was going on. So president called, and he was discharged he was released without any charges. Without any charges. Without any charges. Even the fellows that were abducted recently, they were released in that manner. And no one has been arrested, even though police said we don't have any under our custody. So it is, I think, at this critical time, even the judicial system should spare the police bosses. Because the abduction looks like a complex ring above board. It's a bit complex. It's not as simple as just call IG explain, call DCI explain. It is not as simple as just come explain. It is possible that it could be a ring outside what people will say. Now, I was looking at the Muturi's lens on that context, and I've seen Jeremiah Kioni issuing a statement today, I think in that press briefing where they were with Kalonzo Musyoka, asking the president to take caution, or rather that Kenyans, I think he said something about this. The South Korean president, the people, he's been arrested, by the way. And it's something that really should shock the world. I want us to look at what Sudi posted, because the Nation did a big headline on Muturi expose. Muturi spills the beans. That was Nation headline. And there are some 3 questions that I want to answer in relevance to Muturi's, that I want to interpret in relevance to Muturi's expose. I've seen politicians around the ruling class belaboring these narratives, and I think it's right we do it. Oscar Sudi. This desperate move made now that your political career has waned is a clear blackmail attempt. The timing is highly suspicious, revealing a coward man clutching at straws for political expediency. In regards to your son's woes, who is my age mate, kwani alishikwa bure. Furthermore, there are many Embu professionals who can serve the country with zeal you can ship out. I said this, that political blackmail was shikwa without any reason, and people have been demanding that Muturi should explain to the country why the son was arrested. If the son was not taken to court, how would Muturi explain why the son was arrested? You know, I'm seeing that question, and now they're poking holes in his expose because in that statement he never said why the son was arrested. How would he have that information if he was not charged on court of law? So it's a very unfair question about it. And number two, that Muturi is playing regard the script and targeting the DG, and this is to portray the whole thing as a tribal witch hunt. This narrative should not be tolerated because it deflates and it's a diversion from the subject matter. The subject matter is about abduction and accountability on who is abducting. Now, when you fall for this narrative that, because Regadi also said something on DG, on SDG, and so Muturi is playing that script, I think the members of the public should not fall for that, because that is part of what is done intentionally to create a diversion, and some people are supposed to remain within the tribal corridors of thinking. The timing of expose, what will be the difference even if he said it in August? Remember, he had an option of even saying nothing about it. But he came out and made some statement on it. I think the question on timing should never be concerned. People should not accept to get themselves in the side shows that, why now? Once the DG out, let him tell us what the opinion. Let us follow. I think the country should stick to the subject matter. That is if they want to help and have that debate. This debate cannot go on if it is just about profiling individuals. Thank you.